Let's try immediately then. See if that makes any difference here. Also, I have Theolier. I'm just now remembering. Funnily enough. I completely forgot I had him. Up until this point. I got so lost in the sauce. That I can summon him too if I really need to. And it might not be a bad idea, honestly. Is he gonna do his crazy attack as Mimic's close? Nope, not quite there. I missed. May as well heal after summoning Mimic, just because I have a good opening too there. Ooh, that was bad. But he didn't do the super crazy thing after it. And he's going that way now. Ugh, target him, please. Okay. Ow. I did get them mixed up that time, though. No hug! Glug! Okay. What is... Glug. May as well, just because I have the opening, too. What the hell? Gonna try to hug me or something? Gonna go after Mimic there. Will Mimic heal? Oh. He still did the crazy thing. Wow, that's the first time I've dodged that in a while. What the hell is this? Whoops, not that one. Mimic did heal. Nice. Okay. Yikes. May as well. Oh, and then he went after Mimic at the end. Ooh, that's one hug, but that's okay. That's fine. Get to the outskirts of the map. Get out, get out, get out. Yikes! This is my last glug. I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. I'm not dead somehow. Will that reach him? Not quite. Come on, get him. One more hit. Got him! Remembrance of a god and a lord. My heart is pumping like crazy. Oh. It has been done. What a run there. Yeah, just needed the Fire Emblem music, huh? Oh. Praise the Elden Ring. Oh. Too high up. John Wildcat, redeem time yourself out for 10 minutes. All right, enjoy the 10-minute timeout there, Wildcat. Oh my goodness, my arms, they're numb. Like, it's kind of like if you've been resting on a joint for a long time and then, like, you stand up and the blood starts flowing again and like, your arm is kind of, like, semi-asleep. It's that kind of feeling. That is what both my hands, both my arms, but especially both my hands have right now. And I didn't realize it during the boss. It's only after I'm done and I take my hands off the controller that I'm noticing that, like, my blood flow was messed up. And now it's, like, slowly returning to normal. So, oh, well, we'll see if it stacks. I don't know if it does. Well, there was that. That was Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree. What was the track that played before this? It was another Fire Emblem one. This is the Apex of the World, and the one before that was Funeral Flowers. Oh. Well, that's it. That is all bosses cleared in Elden Ring, which took me almost as long as all bosses in the entire Dark Souls trilogy. The previous one was Funeral Flowers, is what it was. I can't believe that this took me almost as long as the entire Dark Souls trilogy to do all bosses. But it has been done. It has been complete. I'm also going to change into my... Oh, Solitude. I was wearing one right there. Where's my fingerprint thingamabob? Or what was I wearing? I just want to wear what I was wearing before. It was this, yeah. And I think I had Knights Cavalry stuff here, and I had some better looking gloves. Like maybe those? No, that wasn't what I had. I think it might have been those. I think this is my outfit. But yeah, God, thanks. Gonna go listen to it now. Absolutely the best track you've ever heard in your life. It's pretty good. Oh, well. Yeah, I guess I was wearing it without realizing it. Well, that was the journey. That, over the past couple of years since, what was it, May 2022, when this first came out, that right there is Elden Ring all bosses. I don't remember how long it took me there initially, like 6 months. This one was a few months on and off. And like I've said before, you know, time for Bloodborne. Yeah, let's go pop in the disc and do it right now. What a great idea. I technically could, but no. Let's not, with the game schedule being the way that is. One day, I do own it. I can do it. But yeah, so I was able to get all the way to the final boss of this DLC start to finish in one sitting right when this DLC released. And then Radahn was a little bit too much for me. Oh, I once again forgot to summon Theolier. Oh, man. Radahn was a little bit too much for me. And yeah, not wrong for my poor heart. Don't need to get like a heart attack here. So, yeah, I got up to here. I could only get to Radahn phase 2 just the one time after 2 hours of trying, and I couldn't get any further than that. And I knew I wanted to come and kill all bosses at some point anyway. It's not like I needed to do the final boss before then. But it was still kind of unsatisfying not being able to do it there. And knowing that I permanently soft-locked myself out of 2 potential summons that I could use in that boss, the fact that the boss felt so darn near impossible, and there's 2 summons that could help me, that I permanently soft-locked myself out of, it wasn't a super great feeling there. So then came the break and me putting in a new save file. Oh, I just now realized I forgot to make a backup of my save file just before fighting Radahn so I could fight him whenever I wanted. I did make a backup earlier this stream, and it was of, before using the finite furnace faces, is what it was. Whoops. Oh well. Oh well. It's not that important, I don't think, here. If I ever really want to refight Radahn on my own time, then I can just go through Erdtree again. I guess it's not a super big deal. Man, this theme is so good, too. This would have been really cool to face him with as well. And I was expecting to continue fighting him to this point and to hear this theme come on. Like, this might be one of my favorites of the Three Hopes soundtrack. It's so good. That's what we should play next, is Three Hopes. But yeah, I took that break. because I needed to come back and play this when I can play it for fun, not when it's like, I need to do this as soon as possible to knock it off the GameCube because of how busy I am, and then just be stressing out because I'm failing over and over again. I needed to come to play it when I could actually play it genuinely for fun, and not because of just obligation to finish it off. I mean, I felt obligated to kill all the bosses and stuff like that here, and I did it. I did do that. And then it is pretty fitting to do Radahn as the final thing. So yeah, reload that save. I did some of that side quest stuff off camera. I decided not to get one of the summons that I could get for this battle, instead getting the retaliatory cross tree because of how much additional damage it could give me. So I ended up going for that instead, which is still like a pretty nice thing to get. So I got that. And then I did Theolier's quest, so I could summon Theolier here. And then I completely forgot about him. Like, I kept on refighting this boss over and over and over again, and forgetting that one of the whole reasons why I restarted the DLC from the beginning was to be able to have access. Let us go together. Touch memory. Can you refight him? What does that mean? Oh, I should have gone to the Grace first. What am I doing? Uh-oh. 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 What have I done? What have I done? Oh, is this just like ending cutscene and we're gonna listen to it with this epic music rather than the original music? Oh, this is, yeah, ending cutscene, okay. We're going to listen to this music that's gonna be louder than the dialogue. That's fine. We checked it out properly at like part 157 or whatever it was. The finale question mark part. So, we have technically already seen this once before earlier in the playthrough. Yeah. Thank goodness there's subtitles. Well, that's cool and all, but do you know what's even cooler? This music. It would have been cool if you could like refight whenever you wanted. Alright, that was cool, wasn't it? It died there for some reason. And Elden Ring disconnected. So, yeah, my whole interweb went down there, starting in offline mode to use the network's features to check to see if your connection's set properly. I check login from the title menu. Well, thank goodness that didn't happen while I was facing the final boss. Thank goodness for that. I can just put in the chat. Can refresh now. That happened to me when I was streaming Persona a couple days ago as well. I don't know what's going on with my internet lately. Seems odd. I also just restarted this theme from the beginning because I didn't know how long the stream was going to be down, and it's an awesome theme. So, anyway, I was just trying to say it was funny. One of the main reasons why I restarted the DLC was to be able to have access to the summons that I had otherwise softlocked myself out of. And ultimately, I ended up killing one and forgetting about the other. Like, I remembered about Theolier towards the end there. And then I was like, oh, I remember him now. Maybe I'll just bring him in next attempt, because I remembered as I was going through the fog wall. And then I just didn't, and then I just ignored him and went into it anyway. So I probably could have made that easier by taking out Theolier and having more targets for Radahn to focus on. But whatever, Mimic and I were able to clutch it out there. Just having one other target he could attack sometimes was enough. That seems like an extremely hard boss to fight solo. And yeah, I wish you luck with that. I think if I didn't have anyone else, if it was just me soloing him in the arena there, I don't think I would have been able to do it. Like, maybe after a lot of practice to figure out how to dodge his attacks, and after another patch comes out to fix the lag, that would definitely help things too. But the phase 2 attacks seem so insane, and like it would take a lot of learning to figure out how to not be hit by those. So it seems like a really interesting challenge, but not the kind of thing that I have time to sink my teeth into. So yeah, that one is brutal. The so many of the rapid strike down things, I just don't know how to dodge them. Good thing I didn't need to because I had help of Mimic there, but you would have to figure out how to dodge those if you were playing solo. So yeah, like, props to those who are able to do it. I'm sure I could with a lot of practice, but that's time I'd rather not put in. I'd rather just beat it no matter what methods I use, and that's what I end up doing. So it's interesting, like, I gained a few levels since doing this as part of like part 157, like the first stream that I did as part of the DLC. But I wasn't that much stronger. I had to use a few stamina points more. Did I raise my health a little bit? I forget. I think I might have actually raised my health a decent smidge. So yeah, that helped me out. And then I guess I did have more damage with like the two-handed talisman and the retaliatory cross tree and stuff like that. But it wasn't that drastic of a power increase as I thought it might initially be when I quit Radon the first time. Like, I wasn't that much more powerful this time. Well, I don't know how much of a difference the two-handed talisman makes. I know retaliatory cross tree is a decent bit. And maybe the health made a decent difference in letting me live sometimes. Maybe it was a significant difference, I don't know. Anyway. So, and welcome back, Wildcat. So, should I just give like my full review of the DLC now? Since there wasn't exactly any end credits, and usually at the end is when I give like my full review. All in all, I did generally really like the DLC. I thought that it was really fun. I definitely enjoyed it. Who dis? Oh, Theolier. That didn't even participate. Sorry, Theolier. I should have had you participate for like story reasons. I should have had Ansbach participate too for story reasons as well. I kind of killed him. Let's get one last level up for the road. Here, stamina, 49. One unsatisfying number, not 50. There we go. Did I ask if you'd be down for Symphonia, but no, that's probably not going to happen. If you want to do Symphonia tonight, I was thinking about switching to some other game. And now I'm available. I would like to give my full review here first, because I wasn't sure what I was going to switch to. If it was going to be back to Mario and Luigi that I was streaming earlier, or if it was going to be something else. Because I do want to make good progress on some things during this extended weekend here. What time is it right now? 11:30? Might want to take a BRB break to grab a quick snack. But yeah, I'd say so. I'm down. Because I mean, in terms of the current game schedule, I can pull that up here really quickly. That's one of the things that's also close to being knocked off. Yeah, so it didn't take me too long here. I already streamed this 2 days ago. I was gonna stream this yesterday, but I was just so tired at the end of the day that I couldn't, so I streamed it earlier today for a little bit. Just beat this. On the weekend, I'll probably go a lot more ham with this. Haven't touched this yet. And then, well, in terms of like this recent time span, yeah, I can switch over to this. Imagine fighting Prime Radon at his full size. That would certainly be something, wouldn't it? You know, maybe posting epic music of your own. But that sure happened. Didn't get the chance. For whatever reason, my brain wanted to say debated out of it, but that doesn't... I mean, I guess that sort of makes sense. Like, you thought that you could post it, but never mind, you can't, so it's sort of a debate? I don't know. You get pranked. Look, there's the cameras. Anyway. Possibly do it during the Symphonia stream? What, posting the epic music? I mean, depending on where we're at. Potentially, yeah. Anyway, full review here. For the most part, I like that DLC. And I really like the meat of the content of Elden Ring. Like, there's so many games nowadays that are so filled with microtransactions up the yin-yang, and just all the different ways that they can get more money out of you. Like, even earlier today, you were finally able to pre-order Planet Coaster 2 earlier today. And so I did. No, I guess I can't check that. Oh, it's in my Steam library here. It was announced earlier today to be coming November 7th. And it's now posted so that you can buy it. And so I did, because I'm going to be covering it on the channel. And whenever there's like multiple editions of a game, I typically get the most expensive one and then talk about, hey, is this most expensive one like worth it for the price whenever I cover and do my full review? How does Planet Coaster have a deluxe edition of all things? Planet Coaster 2 is normally $65, but the deluxe edition is $84. A little bit more than a full price game here. And what does the deluxe edition give you? Well, first of all, there's pre-order bonuses in Planet Coaster. These are rides you're just not gonna get if you don't pre-order Planet Coaster. And the deluxe edition here includes the Vintage Funfair Ride Pack. There's all these rides that you can only get by giving them, what, like $20 extra? Yeah, basically $20 extra, $19 extra. So basically $19 DLC for what, like 6 standing rides and 4 track type thingamabobs? And maybe you can get the pre-purchase bonus later by shelling out that extra there or something like that. Like, of all the companies to do this, I never thought I'd see Frontier doing this. Like, Frontier was one of the companies I had up on like a pedestal of like, hey, they're one of the good ones. But then doing this of just like, hey, give us $20 extra and we'll give you like a few extra rides. Fuck off. Like, there's so many games that do this kind of thing nowadays. Like, this is one of the most tame examples that you can get. You want to see an extreme example, you can look at something like Tales of Arise. Like, my god, that is so absolutely abysmal with its Beyond the Dawn Edition, Beyond the Dawn Deluxe Edition, Beyond the Dawn Ultimate Edition, and Scarlet Nexus bundle. With that content for this game, browse all. Is this new since the last time I played? And there's this stuff that just came with like the Deluxe Edition. Like so much stuff. The fact that you can buy level ups and currency in a single player game, it's so bad. Or like the constant microtransactions for cosmetics and like loot boxes and all that stuff there. The fact that, like, another game I've been doing recently, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I don't think there's much in the store page here, but there's an in-game store. Anytime you pause the game, you can go to the in-game store where you can buy like a bazillion cosmetics in this single player game for real world dollars. Like, it's so shitty. And the fact that so many companies do that, Ubisoft is a really bad one of it. But Elden Ring, in the meantime, yes, definitely my date of birth. If we go to its store page, it actually has a deluxe edition now? What is that? Wait, I think that's just with the soundtrack, right? Is what that is. So there's the main game, which is just like a full price game with 0 microtransactions in it. Then there's Shadow of the Erdtree, which actually increased the price of since when I bought it. I have not seen if there's a new trailer. I haven't seen the most recent one. But a lot of games will also like co-develop the main game and the DLC, and then release the DLC like shortly after, or some people will even do day 1 DLC if your name is like Atlas or something like that. And it just feels really shitty to just like, hey, we already knew that this was gonna be successful. We're just gonna take this content that we are already making and just like develop this additional content just to like be able to charge people more money for more stuff there. Like, so many companies will just like co-develop their DLC or be developing it and so it's at the ready like very shortly after, like maybe just a few months after, and keep their game in the limelight a little bit longer to keep more media attention on it and to have another thing to sell. And it's just a way to be getting more money. But this is a case where it's like the game was really successful and they did not spend, like, I'd be very surprised if they did, like, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty darn sure they did not spend any time during the development of the main game working on the DLC. The main game is already so insanely meaty without the DLC. Again, to defeat all bosses in the whole Dark Souls trilogy, it took me 200 parts. And to do the same in Elden Ring, it took me 140 for the main game. Like, there's some meat to this game. There's a lot. Like, one of the few instances nowadays where you just put your money up front for a game, and there's the full game. And then when it came to DLC, they really did just develop it after the fact. Because when did the main game come out again? Let's see here. It came out a little while back now. I don't need to hear it, is it? Because the trailer is. The 24th of February, 2022. This game came out 2.5 years ago. And then it was super successful, so they were like, oh, let's make a DLC for it then, is what we'll do. And it only came out like a few months ago. Like, over 2 years after the main game came out is when they released the DLC. And that's like, that and the soundtrack, I think, are the only things that you can buy here. A Shadow of the Erdtree, yeah, just art book and soundtrack is what it is. The entire in-game shop is just like, oh, here's the DLC, and here's the DLC plus soundtrack. 2 days before your birthday, yeah, it was right around that time. So the fact that they then spent the next 2 years to develop it, most game developers would not want to do that because they figure after 2 years their game is long forgotten. Why would they release a DLC after 2 years? They'd much rather be investing that time into like the next game that they can sell, is what I imagine most game developers would think. Because after that long of a gap, so many players, myself included, need to come back and remember how to even play the game anymore because it's been so dang long. Like, that is a significantly long span. And with that 2 years of development time, there's a lot of meat in this DLC too. Like, it is not short by any means. Like, you can make it short if you just bum rush right to the final boss. So the sheer amount of bang for your buck and the fact that they truly did develop the DLC like after the fact and took 2 years to develop the DLC after the main game and weren't afraid to take that much time, like, instead of just releasing some small thing a few months after the fact like most game studios would do. I have tremendous respect for FromSoftware for that. Like, that is definitely one of the biggest praises that I can give it. It's just like the sheer amount of bang for your buck. I do have my fair amount of complaints when it comes to Elden Ring here overall, but I can definitely look at it and be like, wow, that is one great pillar of a video game in such slew of garbage that's coming out from so many with game studios nowadays. Maybe not garbage, but so much mediocre, over-monetized crap that's coming out. Like, this is extremely, extremely meaty, and really it does not try to get any extra money from you out of underhanded ways. They try to get extra money out of you by making something really, really meaty and amazing is how they try to get money out of you. And more game developers should do that. So, like, this was far from perfect. I do have my fair amount of complaints about it, and I'll get into those here shortly. But in terms of, like, the sheer bang for your buck, especially in, like, the modern gaming market, big props to them. And I can look at this and be like, that was a dang fine video game right there. And for the price, so dang good. Like, this was a really darn meaty DLC. I quite enjoyed it for the most part. I had some complaints, but I did quite enjoy it for the most part here. It was really good. I think I'm gonna put my playlist on shuffle here again, get more different things, but I am gonna manually select the next one, and the next one is gonna be, oh, there's a bunch of Xenoblade 3 music. Should I select one of those? We haven't heard that one yet. Origin Battle, Tactical Action, Carrying the Weight of Life. That one's pretty good. Let's click on that one, and then it'll be on shuffle from here. Elden Ring is what other video games should strive to be. Yes, that I imagine very few video games would want to strive to be, considering the cost that goes into making it and the very little amount of monetization that comes out the other side. But like, this game still made a lot of money because people recognize, hey, this isn't one of those games that's just trying to like get every single little cent out of us that they can. So like, I'm really glad that this game was as successful as it was. But still, the fact that it sold 20 million units in its launch year, which is an insane success, was still less profit than Genshin Impact makes in 1 year, is still really sad, and it does say a lot about where the gaming industry is at. And in terms of what's most profitable, it does go to show that even if you do make like a really, really high quality game, that's just the price of entry, and then you have the whole thing. The fact that that's not going to be making as much as some of the crazy freemium things out there like Genshin is kind of sad, and means that even when games like this are wildly successful, I don't know how much it's going to be inspiring other big companies to be trying to follow in its footsteps, as sad as it is. Because, yeah, freemium games are super popular. Yeah, would you have not played Elden Ring if Mortis never suggested you to play Dark Souls? Yeah, I probably wouldn't have. Most likely not. Mortis with the, what do we call it again? Mad Lad May, I think it was, where a bunch of people could like select full playthroughs for me to do around here. I did Dark Souls 1 and really liked it, and then that led to Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3. I decided to do the whole trilogy. And then, yeah, I probably wouldn't have done Elden Ring otherwise. But that led to this, and now it's going to lead to Bloodborne eventually when I get the time. When the game schedule's a bit more open and I can wedge something in just for fun. I'll wedge in Bloodborne at some point here. But yeah, someone just gave you a sub? What? You what now? But yeah, I feel like with how popular Elden Ring has become, I feel like you probably still would have played it. Maybe. I might have. There's a chance hearing about it being like a really good game. But I mean, there's other really big games coming out lately that people are saying are really good. Like Black Myth Wukong is the really big one right now that the whole internet is going crazy over. And I don't really know a whole lot about it. Like, we were talking about it during the last stream, but apparently this is like the super big thing right now. Overwhelmingly positive. Wow, 604,000 reviews. That's a lot. Holy crap. But apparently this is the game that's like super big and crazy right now. And if I had time on my schedule, I'd probably play it. I don't really know much about it, but apparently everyone's saying that's super good. And apparently a lot of people that would like FromSoft kind of action games would like this kind of thing, because I've heard that's kind of similar, like a fast-paced action game is the case. But yeah, you get it? The music? The sub-alert music, get for PS5? Oh, I getcha. I was so confused. I didn't get the joke. Yeah, you're right. It is the sub-music there. Anyway, yeah. So there's that. So overall, like in terms of bang for your buck, that's really, really good there. Yeah, I'm sorry. So I really quite like that. I'm not going to review the main game because I would have done that at the end of the main game playthrough. In terms of just the DLC, I really like how big of a map it is, like how much stuff there is to do. Kind of wish that this was a proper area to explore, rather than just like, I think this is teleporting in. No, it wasn't teleporting in, it was climbing up one specific side. Yeah, but that's not a super big deal. That's like a very minor nitpick there. The fact that history repeats itself with the burning of the tree, soft locking you out of quests that you haven't completed yet. fuck FromSoft for that. Like, I was trying to think of a kinder way to say that, and I couldn't. Like, the fact that I got to Radahn, and in my haste realized that there were summons that I could get for it that I permanently soft-locked myself out of. That's not a great feeling. So the fact that burning the not Erdtree, the ceiling tree here does the exact same thing as the Erdtree in the main game. It's like, come on, really? Because that was a complaint I had about the main game. And the fact that, once again, some of the quests are like, oh, go talk with Bilbo over here on the third Thursday of the month at 2:30 p.m. during a half moon after you fulfill these conditions. Like, just the most niche possible stuff for the quests, where if you're not following a guide, you're not going to realize that's going on, and you're not going to get the quest objectives. Like, there's no way you're getting it just by randomly bumbling around. I do like how you can figure out the main objective just by bumbling around, and that was something that I actually talked about briefly in the Scarlet and Violet DLC video essay, in regards to comparing to how obscure it is to get Meloetta, because that's the section that I talked about it in. Where, to get the main objective, just playing it, bumbling through, I was able to figure out how to progress. Like, I'm going to the big castles that seem important. I can't get into here quite yet. So I need to go do something else. I trek around and go through more castles and make it all the way to here and beat up Romina. And there's a tree here that looks like it's blocking the way to this. And it says I need Mesmer's Flame. I don't know who Mesmer is, but like, he'll probably be somewhere important. And then bumbling around some more in Shadow Keep. And oh, here he is. I defeat him despite not really knowing who he is. I get his flame. I go over here. I burn the tree and I make my way up to find the final boss. So like, it is really good in that if you just go around randomly. Like, the game never really holds your hand or tells you where to go, but it gives you the hints to figure out what to do without really needing a guide there. Me, as just some bumbling idiot, was able to figure it out and make my way all the way to the final boss. So like, props to them for that, but they do not share that same thing with the side quests. You cannot figure it out on your own with the side quests. Like, no way. So screw that. The new weapon types are pretty cool. This is the only one that I really played around with, but apparently there's like martial arts things. There's like battle spear shield things. These swords were pretty cool. I did like the dual wielding swords and being able to send out magic beams and big spins with the magic flames. I thought they were cool. I quite liked using these as my secondary weapons when the situation called for it. Didn't really use it in the final boss there, but I quite like them. And the other weapon types seem like they're pretty cool as well. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of new summons in it, from what I understand, or not a whole lot of new sorceries, but there are some. But there are, the big thing was like the new weapon types, which is pretty cool. Yeah, these are Rolanda's swords. I think that they're cool. I quite like them. Yeah, and they got buffed in the most recent patch. Specifically, both attacks with this got buffed. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, let's see here. I did that alright, even though you got jumped pretty late, not even that early. Wait, what? I might have missed something. I mean, usually FromSoft games have easy to miss quests, however, DLC areas usually don't. Yeah, so the fact that there was in this, like, at least there wasn't a whole lot of quests to go through. But, yeah, that kind of sucked. Still missed the summons, but summons add more health to the boss too. That's true. And it looked like I didn't even need any summons past my Mimic. So it worked out. Isn't something you would expect out of a DLC area? Yeah, that's fair there. Sweet lulls, magic too. Yes, indeed it do be. Just what FromSoft games have conditioned you to think in the past, so this DLC doesn't have the same pattern of DLC areas not having quests that are missable. Oh, this is quite a lot that are missable. Misses someone for Ansbach. Yeah, I did initially too. And then I just kill him the second time. Yeah, I think that's how you spell it. So that's a complaint there. Some of the bosses I really like, some of the bosses I really didn't like. I think my least favorite were probably the fire golems, just because big foe that's just annoying to take down and not really a meaningful challenge at all. I really didn't like the fire golems. Was there anyone else boss-wise that I really hated? I don't know if there was. A lot of the bosses were actually really cool. I think my favorite is still Mesmer, especially Mesmer Phase 1. Like, Phase 2 gets a little bit janky with the snakes, but Mesmer Phase 1 is really cool and really fun. And when you start to get the hang of it, Radahn Phase 1 is really fun as well. I did quite like that. Phase 2 goes into, like, absolute insanity. Like, maybe with enough practice, I would have started to get the hang of it. Like, when I first started doing Phase 1 Radahn, when, facing him initially, like, a couple months ago, I had no idea how to dodge the meteors, for example, and I thought that they were basically impossible to dodge. And I thought that, and now I think that some of his phase 2 attacks feel like they're basically impossible to dodge. So maybe it's just like the meteors, where with enough practice or by watching someone else do it, I would figure out how to dodge it. Like, I'm sure that there is a way, but man, is it insane. Yeah, Mesmer phase 1 I really liked, and Radahn phase 1 I also really liked. I think even after the nerf, some of the openings are still really, really, really small. Like, I could still usually only get, like, 1 hit per opening. And even then, sometimes I'd go for the heavy strike right as he finishes attack, and then he'd do one of his quick slashes and hit me anyway. So the fact that some openings aren't even enough of an opening for 1 slash with my weapon is, like, really? Oh, and we're going back to 3 Hopes. Music anyway, by the playlist being on shuffle. This game yearns for 3 Hopes, I guess. So I do wish that some of those openings were a little bit bigger. I don't know what else I'd change about Radahn. Like, it is very fitting as, like, a final boss is something that's really, really challenging there. I know a lot of people really complained about him, and hence, like, some of the nerfs. And apart from the lag luckily wasn't too bad. Like, there were times that it got pretty bad during this session. Luckily, it wasn't too bad during Radahn. It didn't mess me up too much. But apart from that, I do think that the nerfs definitely make him feel a bit more balanced and better. But I do think that some of the openings where I could only get where I couldn't even get 1 hit, sorry, could be enough of an opening to let me get at least 1 hit. Come on, it's at least that, then I'd feel a little bit better about Radahn. I also really liked R'Lana. I thought that was a really fun boss. R'Lana felt like Melania, but fair, is what R'Lana felt like. So I really quite liked the R'Lana boss. What were other ones that I really, really liked? The putrid guy here was pretty cool, apart from like the blue flame attack that was pretty crazy. That one I really liked. And Bale was pretty cool too. I don't have a whole lot of experience with Bale, but Bale was pretty cool too. I don't know if I was super big on the Madness guy. Yeah, I think my favorite boss in this DLC was Mesmer. Second favorite, if we count different phases, maybe second favorite Radahn phase 1. I probably need more experience with phase 2 to get the feel for it before I start actually liking it. Maybe R'Lana after that, and then the putrid guy here, and then Bale. I don't know. I'm not sure. Romina, I was kind of about. I don't know. The bosses. The music was pretty good. I don't know if there's any themes I'd be listening to after the fact. Maybe the Radahn boss battle theme. Like, we didn't hear it during this stream because I was playing other music constantly. But the final battle theme of this DLC is really good. Apart from that, I don't know if there's any music that I'd be listening to on my own time. Like, it very much worked for its situation in the game, but I don't know if any of them were such jammers that I'd want to be listening to them on my own time. I guess, like, story is a section that I usually talk about in my reviews, but what the hell do I even say here? I don't know what happened. It's like, it's a Soulsborne game. It's one of those things where you gotta figure out the story by watching video essays on YouTube after the fact. Like, I don't know what the hell was going on here. Oh, Mesmer's theme, was that really good? It's been a while since hearing it. Here. That's the wrong thing there. No, that's the wrong thing there too. Here. Elden Ring OST. Mesmer. Like an alteration of Radagon's theme? Mesmer the Impaler. Was this one that I really liked and forgot about? We're skipping ahead. It is pretty darn epic. Oh yeah, and that does sound kind of like the title screen theme slash Radagon's theme there. That is pretty cool. Yeah, there are definitely some themes where it's like, that's really darn cool there. I think I actually really liked R'Lana's theme, now that I think about it. I really liked Radahn's theme. I know I really like Mesmer's theme here. I still don't think it's the kind of thing that would fit for something that I'd be listening to on my own time, but for in the moment of playing the game and facing off against the big bad, it definitely works pretty well. It definitely does hit pretty hard. I think it's because Mesmer is quite literally Radagon's son. Oh, okay. Is there anything else I want to mention? I don't know. He's the only other character in the entire game with red hair. Obvious connection there, then. Yeah, so this DLC wasn't perfect. Some of the bosses were more annoying than anything and weren't really meaningful challenges, like the fire golems I think of from earlier this stream. They were just kind of painful. I thought this theme went on longer. Being soft locked out of quests is pretty shitty. Some of the areas are not well designed. Like in Near Alim here, going up that area with the guys that are spawning all the magic around you like landmines, that it's like good luck dodging those, while the people that worship the divine dancing lion are coming after you at the same time. Like that, it's just so awful and infuriating. I really dislike that. That might be my least favorite area in the game. My second least favorite might be the tunnels here with all the shrimp and stuff. I really didn't like that. So like there's some general Soulsborne FromSoft kind of god-awful areas sometimes I wasn't a big fan of. Jeez, it's getting kind of crazy here, huh? We're coming up on the most replayed part, apparently. But yeah, wait, why does the map look like a buff dude wielding a spiky ball weapon? He looks like he's slamming a spiky mace into the ground. What? I don't see it. I'm sorry. But yeah, so not perfect, but that was a really good DLC, I will say. Like, that could have absolutely been its own game. And in terms of like the amount of parts this took, so that went from part 141 to part, we're probably in the 90s somewhere right now. So let's say it was about a 50-something part series here. That is enough to constitute like a standalone game. That is a pretty meaty experience. That's a lot to do. I don't know what part this is, but we definitely didn't hit 200, which means this is going to be shorter than my Dark Souls trilogy series. Very slightly, just by a little bit, but it's shorter. Yeah, I think I said all the things I want to say. The top section is the head. Top right is his left arm. The mountain at the bottom is the weapon. I still don't quite see it. I'm not quite sure here. But yeah, that's... I don't know if there's anything else I want to say. I can put on some more Noah Prime for now, because there's a tab open for that still here, and that's always an awesome theme. Obviously, we just stall for time for a few more episodes. Yeah, I gotta specifically bring this series up to 200 parts so that we get another 200-part series on the channel. And and it's tied with the Dark Souls trilogy then. I think in terms of like single games, there have only been a couple of games to go above 200 parts. Persona 5, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Fire Emblem Fates is going to reach that, like, for the end. We're at part 198 now, and we are going to hit 200 for the end, and then Revelations is going to start at 201. And I mean, if I really, really wanted to, I could bring this to 200. I could go back to that part where I failed against Radahn, like, for 2 hours straight, and just turn that into, like, 4 half-an-hour parts, or even, like, 5, like, 20, 25-minute parts or something like that, and just, like, pad this out until 200. I don't think I want to do that, though. I don't think I want to do that. I think we're going to cut this short at short of 200. I could make these into short parts, the past stream here, and pad it out to 199. How funny would that be? Just get a whole bunch of really short parts, and then it ends on part 199, just to, like, trigger people's OCD or something like that. But yeah, in terms of, like, raw time investment, this did basically take me as long as a Dark Souls trilogy. I mean, let's just look here to compare. Where's my Soulsborne playlist? Where would that be? I don't think I have it posted here, unless it is immediately after Elden Ring, which it might just be. I gotta scroll down a little while again. Here. Elden Ring. Oh, and I don't have the Soulsborne playlist immediately after this. Well, when I eventually start Bloodborne, I'll have the Soulsborne playlist immediately after that. Anyway, I can go to one of these videos Dark Souls successor finally arrives. Totally clickbait title right there. Just for like the buzzword of Dark Souls in the title. Do I not have my Soulsborne playlist here? The heck? I'm sure I have it in the description of my DLCs, right? Because that is a playlist I have. Soulsborne series. Yeah, I do as of the DLC. Why is my browser lagging so much? Hold on. What did I just click? This? What the heck? Come on. Come on. Hey, look, there's Guzma. It's this place. Soulsborne series. Yeah, replace the Elden Ring, Dark Souls trilogy playlist there with the Soulsborne thingamabob. Hey, look, we're still running at 2 times speed. So, for reference, I just got a text from Guzma of some sort of image. Don't know what it is. YouTube Guzma. So, Dark Souls 1, all bosses. I did that at 60 parts. Oh, yeah, and I beat the final boss while wearing oven mitts. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen this time. And that's 2.5 hours. So, like, that could have absolutely been extended out. I guess being the final boss with oven mitts did take me a little while, even if the final boss is normally pretty easy. And then Dark Souls 2, I think, was the longest of the 3. Like, Dark Souls 2 is a pretty dang short game. Short game, slow game is what I wanted to say. I think that was 88? Yeah, so I did, like, the main thingamabob, and then there was, like, DLC stuff, I think. Okay, it was 86. I was close here. So that was 86. Yeah, I just had some random other boss left. It wasn't even some big climactic thing. It was just called the Dark Lurker, so it was no more Dark Lurking. And then I started Dark Souls 3. But 13 hours in on the first session. And that one didn't take me as long as 2. That one was 54. So altogether, that added up to exactly 200 parts. The Dark Souls trilogy is an exact 200 part series, which is pretty satisfying, not gonna lie. And then started Elden Ring, and it just goes on. It just goes on. There's a lot with Elden Ring. And the loathsome dung eater. And then, yeah, I beat it for the first time at part 114. But then I had to go around killing all the bosses that I missed, and also beat the final boss 2 more times for 2 more endings. Oh yeah, we were playing Senator Armstrong then as well. So like, part 140 was the finale, and I was done. And then the DLC came out a couple months ago. And then that's like super meaty. So there's a lot here. And then plus whatever this stream adds up to is the case. So yeah, hopefully Bloodborne doesn't take me that long. How long does Bloodborne take? How long to beat Bloodborne? Of curiosity here. I've been to this before. 32.5 hours. Completionist. Well, I just want to kill all bosses. Is all I want to do. So maybe say like 40 hours? Something like that? 40, 45? So it'll take me a little while, but it won't be as long as Elden Ring. Just out of curiosity, how long do people report for Elden Ring here? 60 hours. Okay. What the heck is this? Shit, Nintendo. What if Elden Ring released in 1993? Runs on real retro hardware. Wonder who put that together. That sounds kind of fun. Here. We're going back to, I don't have it open in a tab anymore. I wonder if I can scroll up. I want to listen to the Susanto thingamabob. That's what I want to listen to now. Boopity bop. Nope, that's the other one. Can I scroll up enough? Dang it. Because I was just looking at this Champions of the Continent battle against the one who bestowed everything. Champions of the Continent. Susanto. Let's put that one on again because that one's pretty cool. Susantos, whatever. I was close. Let's listen to that for a little bit. I know I'm going to get so copyright claimed here. It's about 30 hours for all bosses in the game. Wait, did it say that there? Was that a, But yeah, almost forgot you became Senator Armstrong, best moment in gaming history. Did it say a thing for all bosses? Or maybe that's a different site? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I'll do that as the next Soulsborne game. Unless something new comes out. In which case I prioritize the new thing. But search up what's what you got. Okay. So that's not too bad. Like, it'll take me a while. So, if my parts are roughly half an hour each, that'll probably be about a 60-part series. So it'll be about as long as Dark Souls 1 and 3. but shorter than Dark Souls 2, most likely, in terms of how long it takes me. That's not too bad. That's manageable. Unlike this that I just finished, that is taking me so dang long. And I'm really glad it's done now. No more Elden Ring. Next up, Bloodborne. But again, I won't be doing Bloodborne until I have like significant time. Don't worry, you can entertain YouTube for a full 1 episode. Yeah, to really pad this out. It probably won't take you that long, as this is just for the average person who may or may not have experience with Soulsborne. Yeah, maybe. And now that I've played the whole Dark Souls trilogy and Elden Ring all bosses, like, might not be that bad at Bloodborne. I don't really know much about Bloodborne. I know that after you take damage, you can keep on attacking and get some of your health back. And that there's only 1 shield in the game, and it sucks because they don't want players to shield. And there's guns. That's all I know about Bloodborne. I really don't know much. I know that people really like it. And I do have a couple Bloodborne memes at the ready for going live when I eventually stream that game. I have 2. I have 2 whole Bloodborne memes in my folder. This one and this one. I'm sure when I take the time to actually search for more, I can find more. But anyway. So, the next Soulsborne that we play around here will be Bloodborne, is the plan. But I need my game schedule to get a little bit crazier. So this is off. This is done now. No more. This is still going to take me a little while. This is still going to take me like 50 hours at least. This is going to be long. This isn't going to take too long left. And we'll probably make some good progress tonight. This, maybe 15-ish hours? Maybe less than that even. It depends on how long the rest of this DLC takes me. Because episode 1 is taking me a while. And if episode 2 and 3 are like that, it's going to take me longer than I would have initially thought. A bunch of one-off sessions for me to do at some point. You could always do this tonight too, and then call it a night after that. And then do like and then do Tales of Symphonia on a night like starting earlier, and then have more time to put into. I don't know how much time, like how long do you think Symphonia is still gonna take? Like I'm still down for doing Symphonia tonight if you are, but we could always do it on a night that we could start earlier and then commit longer. Maybe. I don't actually know how much is left. I could look up on that long play roughly where we're at to get a good idea of like tonight's a good night. And then 2 weeks from now, the new, well, now that's after midnight, less than 2 weeks from now, 13 days from now, is the new Legend of Zelda game. That'll take me a little while. There's a new Mario Party that I'll totally play with a bunch of friendos and stuff. Yeah, like I figure it's probably 1 or 2 more streams as well. Planet Coaster 2 is going to take me a little while, and then Mario and Luigi Brothership. So I don't really see myself starting Bloodborne this year. And of course, January 1st, I'd be starting Assassin's Creed Valhalla because that's just what I do there. Fine with doing it tonight, honestly. Okay, I'm fine with it too. So there is a decent few things like still coming up. So I don't really see Bloodborne happening anytime really soon, honestly. And there is other PlayStation games I want to do before then. In terms of games I have on my PlayStation 5, there's Final Fantasy 16, Last of Us Part 2, and Bloodborne. And I kind of want to go through them in that order. Is honestly the case. I mean, Last of Us Part 2 probably won't take me super long. I don't know how long Final Fantasy 16 will take me. But yeah, and yeah, I definitely will here. Just out of curiosity. Final Fantasy 16. 37.5 hours. So it's long, but it's not like this long. Well, it's like this long in terms of like the DLC. But like Elden Ring as a whole, I mean. Also, I can close this now. Is what I can do before I forget and leave it on the whole time. Less than 45 hours for the main story, so it's meaty, but it's not like Persona meaty. Like, dear God, this game is gonna take me like forever. Persona 3 Reload. So it's not Persona meaty. It's meaty enough that when I get to the point that I'm at right now in Persona 3, I'll be done with that game. It also has 2 DLC stories, but you don't have to play them. Oh, if there's DLC, I'll probably want to end up playing it too. It still thinks this is running. Also, what is my total playtime here by the end? Well, my display capture's going a little bit weird. Is it closing properly? What? It went past 140, then went back? About 140 hours, I guess, is what it was. So I have a lot of time in Elden Ring. Holy crap. So, yeah. I would like to do Final Fantasy 16, is what I would like to do. I would like to do Last of Us Part 2 after doing Part 1 on the channel. And then after that, I'll probably do Bloodborne. So it won't be for a hot second. But yeah, maybe I'll start going ham on some PlayStation things next year. We'll see. As those become higher on my priority list of things already released that I want to eventually get to. So, yeah, I'll get to that one day, but no promises anytime soon. But that's the plan. So there's those. And there's technically Demon Souls if I ever want to get to that. But, yeah. Ooh, I can update this. Watch this. I beat it before midnight. So September 12th, I'll say. Play June 20th, 2024 to September 12th, 2024. Bam! Done. There we go. And then really quickly, I'll do that for the Just Elden Ring playlist as well, not just the Soulsborne playlist. But I'm going to have to scroll down a little bit because the playthrough started in 2022. There it is. Yeah, let's go ahead and Shadow of the Erdtree played... What? Did I just backspace the wrong thing? Am I even... What? What have I done? Okay, I didn't screw anything up. To September 12th, 2024. Heck yeah! There we go. It's done. It has been completed. Anyway, yeah. Next time gonna be Bloodborne. I don't know when that's gonna be. One day. Unless something new comes out, in which case I'll do that first. But I doubt I'll take so dang long before Bloodborne that FromSoft releases a new Soulsborne game. I very highly doubt that. So it'll probably be sometime before then. I think that's all I have to say. I think I've pretty much concluded my review. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. And a dang fine video game. And definitely, like, very much justifies the price. Very good bang for your buck. I'm gonna wrap things up now. I'll be back with Soulsborne one day. I'm just gonna keep on repeating myself if I keep on talking about this here. And yeah, I greatly appreciate anybody that tuned into this series. If there's anybody that could by chance be tuning into this as part of like the Elden Ring or Soulsborne playlist and actually went through the entire adventure, if there's any maniac that was ever willing to do that, then I very greatly appreciate that. But I don't know if anyone will ever be that crazy. Let me know in comments if you're that crazy, I guess. And then dislike the video if we were going to go on to that conversation that we were having earlier. Anyway, yeah, I think it's time to switch things up. That was fun. That was a good time. But don't get me wrong, I am glad it's done. So, yeah, I think I'll take a quick BRB break and then maybe come back to some Tales of Symphonia. And then anybody that could be tuning into this as part of the Soulsborne playlist years down the line, the next thing you're going to see is part 1 of Bloodborne, I guess. Probably. I don't know.